The next parameter that I want to touch base on is stop parameter, which we signify by typing in --stop. And basically, what a stop parameter does to prematurely terminate a job before it's complete, its processing. So let's say we send a command to the GPU to create an image of, let's say, Batman. And then we can tell the GPU, okay, stop at when the command is 80% complete. So it will render an incomplete image for us based on when we tell it to stop. So the stop parameter basically allows us to tell the GPU or the processor that, okay, you need to stop at this much percentage of the image. So what happens when using this is that if you stop it at a very early stage, then the image will be blurry and you'll get a less detailed output. But if you stop it at a higher value, then your output will be closer to the actual output image. Now, how does this get useful? So this can be very useful when creating abstract art, where having a sense of incomplete images can be beneficial for us. So let's try something along those lines. Let's say I want to create a abstract Gothic wallpaper, and then I will use the same prompt, but this time I'll stop it at 25. So all I did was I did --stop space 25, and then let's stop it at 50, and then let's stop it as 75, and let's see how the images change based on the time that we have given it to stop. So now let's start reviewing our images. So this is actually the final output that we got for the Gothic art wallpaper. Looks like a pretty decent output. I like the Gothic style of red that it is added in here. And let's see what happened when we started using the stop parameter. So here we asked it to stop at 25, and you see a complete blurry image with no specifics created yet, a very early stop. This is the 100 one, and then let's go to 50. So now in 50, you start seeing that, okay, the processor had done 50% of the job, especially in the first two images where the artwork have started showing up in the image. And then when we stopped it at 75, this got pretty close to the output, specifically this one where we see that, okay, the image is almost ready now, up to the final mark when it finally created the full image. Another way I can show you this is, let's say I want to create an image of a running horse, Banksy style painting portrait. And then I'm going to tell it to stop at, let's say, 80. Forgot one dash here. And let's see what we get this time. What I expect here now is that the first image will, of course, will be complete. In the second one, it will stop right before the ending because I said 80%, stop at 80%. So it will add an abstract touch to it, and it will actually look like a nice photo and not something which is incomplete. But let's see what we get with the algorithm. So this is our completed image without the stop, and you see it's showing a Banksy style painting of a portrait actually of a horse running. And now when I stopped at 80%, you see the image is almost complete. It looks like a good image in terms of the overall aesthetics of the image, but at the same time, we can see that it's not complete yet. And specifically from this one, you can see there are still brushes of stroke that are not complete. It was still processing and figuring out how to create the groundwork and the outline and brushes of the strokes of around the tail and the hairs of the horse. But nonetheless, it still looks like a good version of the painting, and that is something that the stop parameter can help you achieve. The next parameter I'm going to cover is the stylize parameter. So to give you a bit of a background, the Midjourney bot has been trained to generate images that prioritize artistic color, composition, and forms. The level of artistic influence on the output can be controlled by adjusting the stylize feature. What it essentially means is that we can decide how much creative we want the algorithm to be. If we give it a lower stylization value, it will result in images which more closely resemble the original prompt but with less artistic flair. On the other hand, if we assign a higher stylized value, it will result in more artistic images, but the connection to the original prompt that we provided will be broken. Now let's try this out by an example. So let's play with something we already have so that we have a base. So let's say artistic, actually let's say Gothic, oh sorry, I removed the imagine part. Gothic wallpaper of a guitar. So I mixed the guitar with the Gothic wallpaper that we did. And now the one thing to keep in mind is that the default value of stylize is 100 and it can accept values between 0 to 1000. So let's say the default one means 100, which means a low stylized value. So the output will resemble very close to the prompt that we have provided. Now let's start changing that and assign a higher value. So let's go with 500. And let's do 750. And then lastly, let's do 1000 and see how that impacts the overall aesthetics and composition of the image that will be created. So now our output is ready. This is the first one, an image of a Gothic wallpaper of a guitar with the default value of stylize, which defaults to 100. So as expected, it created a guitar with a slightly Gothic feel to it in terms of the wallpaper it put it on and the texture and the embroidery and the print on the guitar itself. The next one is with 500 stylized value, and now you see it's adding more details in terms of the composition and the aesthetics of the guitar. Here you see there are a lot more embroidery or the print that is on the guitar, and here you see a lot more going on in terms of the wallpaper that we have added. The next one we did was 750, and you see there is a considerable increase in the artistic flair that has been added on the guitar and the background once again. And then finally in 1000, it is showing a lot more artistic flair and using and really jotting down to the stylized feature here, that it's adding a lot of different things in the image, and it's creating a very solid base of artistic flair by adding very small components and detail into the image, such as these small notes and the embroidery that has been added over here as well, which how it added an art on the top of the guitar. It gave it a nice background, borderline. So in this way, you can use stylized feature to decide how much creative you want the algorithm to be, or to stick to your current prompt.
In this section, we'll be looking over Instagram and creating a custom GPT for ourselves, which can help us in creating content for Instagram. Now, you could be a freelancer who has clients, or a social media marketer who is working for a brand or a company and needs to publish content on the Instagram profile of the business. That is some tedious and demanding work. So if you have an assistant for yourself, that does a lot of help. So we'll start with create a GPT, and I think now you must have a good idea of how to have those early conversations in building your GPT. So, and how you can do that through the configuration tab as well. So this time we'll use the configuration tab, and I'll say, let's name it Instagram content creator, and I want assistance for Instagram content creation. So I'll say this GPT helps in content creation for Instagram, visuals, text, and video ideas. Okay, so this is the description that I'm giving to my GPT. Now comes the instruction part. Over here, I can add whatever I want. And I can, as you've seen, I can make the GPT act as I want it to. And it's very necessary that if you want the highest level of productivity or the highest level of quality for your content, it's very necessary to feed the right kind of instruction. So with social media, just like LinkedIn, like in our previous section on LinkedIn, we had told the GPT to, be updated and stay updated. So my first prompt, my first instruction could be that stay updated with the latest social media trends and ideas that are going viral. Because Instagram is all about virality. Other than that, I would say that have towards AI and freelancing, because that's the business that I'm operating right now, and I would want it to focus on AI and freelancing. And the reason is that I'm trying to suggest or instruct about the niche that I'm trying to operate on, and the content should be relevant to that niche. So it's extremely important to mention that to GPT as well. Then I could also say create content that creates engagement and seems relevant to the target market. Target market details will be uploaded, or I would say have been uploaded in the knowledge base. So I am going to upload my business canvas in the knowledge base area as well, because I want it to know what my customer base is, and that has a good detail about my customer base. So that will be a good document to upload, knowledge base. Then I will say keep the audience's preferences and taste in consideration when giving ideas, so that all the ideas that it generates are relevant to my customer base or to the people who will be using my platform. And other than that, I would also suggest that the content should not be vague and should add value. Then let's focus on the text. What sort of a text it should be? Then I could say that, or actually not the text but the visuals, what sort of visuals it should have. So I'll say suggest ideas for visuals, or I could say visuals and visual aesthetics, and also make the text appear interesting rather than boring. Because if you've noticed, these days on social media, people are adding emojis to the text of their posts a lot, and that kind of grabs your attention on a subconscious level. So you could incorporate that, and you could tell your GPT to incorporate such things in your text so that it appears interesting. Make the text appear interesting rather than boring and plain. Now, if you remember, for my LinkedIn agent, I had mentioned right at the beginning that I would be requiring it to provide me assistance for text posts, for videos, for carousels. Something similar I will do over here, and I'll say that provide me with ideas that are of variety. And here I could just put a colon and say text, pictures, videos, reels, and more, and suggest ideas. So it's going to be proactive in its approach. Whenever I'm asking something, it's going to provide me more than what I'm looking for. Lastly, I will add a line, and I'll say add a call to action whenever necessary. Actually, not whenever necessary, but it should be a very central point of all your content creation. You should be pushing people towards your website. So you would say always add a call to action. I want to drive the audience to my website. After that, I'm going to upload some documents in the knowledge base. So the idea here is that I want it to be aware of what sort of a business I am. So my business canvas will be important. I'm going to provide my sales copy as well now, because it becomes important. I did that for LinkedIn agent as well. It gets an idea, a further idea, or a more concrete idea about the business and our dealings with our clients. Then I am also going to give it these external posts for LinkedIn so that it has an idea about the kind of content that I'm dealing with, because I know that Instagram and LinkedIn are two different things, but my primary goal is to sound professional and approachable. So I am using Instagram just for increased impressions, increased exposure to the crowd. So that's my reason. I am going to upload these documents. And let's see. So if you can see, my knowledge base is now ready. I am assuming that my GPT will be accessing these all the time, and I am going to add that instruction. Actually, that reminds me, always take information from the knowledge base. And after that, I can see that my capabilities, web browsing, Dolly for image creation and visual ideas, and also code interpreter for data analysis, all of them are on. My GPT is ready. And one thing that I can see is that again, there are no conversation starters. So I'll go back to create and I'll say, can you please create, or actually I'll say conversation starters have not been created for me. Can you please add the conversation starters? You may see that the conversation starters have been added. Now I have these 4 options with me where I can start my content creation from. How can I create engaging Instagram content? Can you suggest a visually appealing Instagram? What are some fresh ideas for Instagram Reels? What's a creative way to write Instagram captions? So yes, all these questions are valid and all these conversation starters are valid, but they are pretty foundational, and I think this is more so for when you are looking for fresh ideas. So this is how, or you don't have any information. If you don't know anything about Instagram or how content is published over there, then yes, you can ask those questions over here too. I am focusing more on the content strategy and the type of content that I want to create. So I will go with a prompt that I can type myself. Let's go back to the configure part. And actually, one thing that's missing right now is our picture. And we will say over here again, please create picture. So in the interest of time, let's go with this picture. I don't really like it. I would love to change this, but that would be more prompts, more time. So in the interest of time, let's just assume that this is nice and I'll say I like it. Let's use it. And there, it will get updated in the configuration part. It actually has. So now I want to show you how I can use my custom Instagram GPT to create content for my Instagram. I'm going to say create, or actually let's start with use information from the knowledge base. And create an Instagram post for my business secoai.pk. Now I want to take you specifically through this post, and I want to show you how it has taken information from the knowledge base. If you read through, it says, "Are you ready to master the art of freelancing powered by AI? Join the revolution with secoai.pk." The offering. It's exclusive seminars, with a course with 56 video lectures, practical skills in GPT and Fiverr, 3-in-1 ebook bundle. Yes, all this is available over there. Personalized Fiverr gig, profile review, and strategy discussion. Then if you see why choose us, it has picked up the instructor name. It has picked up the number of students we already have. It has picked up the language, the days, and even the money back guarantee. That's pretty fabulous, and I think that shows you how powerful your custom GPT is. And right at the end, it has the call to action, which I had asked to enter enroll now at website link and begin your journey towards freelancing excellence with AI. Unleash your potential and start earning smarter, not harder. So this becomes a very good introductory post for my Instagram as well. Now let's assume that I'm a business that already exists. I can say, and I want a post that is not introductory. I want a post that is introducing some sort of a giveaway. Now I could say, create a post for users of secoai.pk. Now, if you run through this post, you can again see that I had not told GPT about any price. And there can be instances where you forget, or where you don't tell the that kind of information. So I had asked it to use information from the knowledge base, and what it did was something amazing, which is that it decided the first, second, and third prize by itself. It said that the first prize would be a 7-hour AI freelancing course plus personalized Fiverr gig review. That's great. The second prize is the ebook bundle that we're giving away. So it has decided the prize by itself, and now I can just agree or disagree. If you have a specific prize, let's say for your giveaway, then you can definitely add that in the instruction. Remember, things that are changing by every task, you can call those variables they're variable in nature. They can change. So you can always put them in the conversation part of your GPT. But those that are fixed and are not going to change, like my business canvas, it's going to be the same. So over there, I have the leeway to just keep that in my knowledge base and assume that my GPT will have that as its fixed. Now that we know how to create an idea for an Instagram post, let's look into how your GPT or your custom GPT can create even visual for that post, like I showed you in the LinkedIn section. So what I'll do is initially I'll need a text post. So create an engaging post for Instagram about the benefits of AI and generate a visual for this post as well. So I've added that part to the same prompt, and let's see what we get. So I definitely don't like this picture. Yes, it has generated the picture. I've shown you the capability, but I don't like it. On the other hand, the text for the post is pretty good. It is explaining the benefits of AI, enhanced connectivity, environmental care, smarter learning, health innovations, business growth. So yeah, good points. I don't like the picture though, so I'm gonna say let's change the picture. Have a student with a laptop, or actually not a student, but I'd say a freelancer. Much better. I like this picture better. It shows a person who's working on the laptop, although I don't like the picture in the laptop. So your next step could be, okay, change the picture of that is showing in the laptop. I don't like it. Or change the background. You can do that too, and it's going to change the background, give you another post. I could just do that actually. Change the background for this picture and the picture that is appearing in the laptop. This is basically what I was looking for. I was looking for a picture which was more simplistic, but also showed what AI capabilities are all about and what you can do with it. Now you can see that, yes, that picture of that was inside the laptop, it's still there, but now it's on the back of the laptop. So that's probably the cover of the laptop now. And it's front facing. It's showing the freelancer from the front. So this is much better, and it shows you that it could take a couple of iterations to arrive at what you're looking for, but your custom GPT has a good idea of what you're looking for. So see, the updated image now features the freelancer in a modern high-tech office environment with an advanced AI interface on the laptop screen. This setting reflects the professional and innovative aspect of freelancing in today's digital world. So it is grasping pretty good who this is for, and it's showing the person who is extremely relevant to my case right now. And you could do something similar whenever you're creating content for your own business or for your own client.
The next feature that I want to touch base on is chaos, which is dash dash chaos or dash dash c. And this parameter essentially controls the level of variation in initial image grids produced by the Midjourney algorithm. So what that means is if we assign a high chaos value, the more unusual and unexpected results will be displayed. But if you assign a lower chaos value, then it won't deviate from the initial prompt, and the image grades are only going to be slightly varied each time a job is run, resulting in a reliable and repeatable outcome. So if you're looking for ways that you can create the same image or the same framework or the basics of an image over and over again, you're going to use a low chaos value. But if you want your image grids to be completely different and you want them to show and you want the algorithm to show its creativity and go completely out of the way, then you use a higher chaos value, and then when you regenerate the images using the same prompt, the image grids that will be generated will be completely different from each other. So the chaos parameter can accept values between 0 to 100. By default, it's set to 0. To better explain you the idea of chaos, I ran a few prompts with a cat and a jug. So that was my initial text prompt, and that's all I ran. So first I ran it with a low chaos value, and here you see in all three image grids that I created with that parameter, it sticks to the main context of the image, although it changes the composition and the cat a lot. But you, in each one of them, you see a cat and a jug, a cat and a jug, a different type of jug and a different type of cat, but mostly cat and a jug. This is the only one where it slightly deviates and combines the two, but overall, the framework and the objects in the image remain the same. Now I started a medium chaos. So I assigned a 50 value of chaos. And now you see a lot of variations between these images. So here it put a milk jug and the cat in a glass. Here the cat is really smaller than the jug. Here there's a cat plus a cat in the jug as well. Over here it looks like the cat is viewing its mirror image inside the jug with waves there as well. Now here it becomes a statue of the cat, and sort of a catish sort of a thing in the jug as well. Here it's more basic where it's just the jug and the cat, but the variation in the jug has changed a lot. Now let's go to a higher chaos value. Now here this is where it gets interesting. So you see how, for example, this image, it's completely different. The jug and the cat are the same object. It's looked like the cat's face is inside the jug. Here it created two images side by side. One is just an ordinary cat. Here there's the cat's face inside the jug. This one looks like the cat is part of the jug. So you see, by assigning different chaos values, you can essentially decide how much variation you're looking for between your images or the image grids that you're producing. And that is essentially what chaos can help you achieve. The last parameter in this section that I would want to cover is seed. And basically what the seed is when Midjourney creates an image, it's assigned a seed value to that process. So as Midjourney is capable of generating stunning images by utilizing a unique method of producing visual noise or randomness. This process begins by using a seed number to generate a field of noise or randomness, which is then used to initiate the image creation process. These seed numbers are generated randomly for each image, and they can also be explicitly specified using the seed parameter. So for instance, what this is saying is that when the algorithm wants to create an image, first it assigns it a random value in a number, and that's the noise factor or the randomness factor that the algorithm will use to create the image. And then basically the seed parameter allows us to pick out that random value of the seed that was assigned to that specific image and then use it to produce further images. So let's try this out for version 5 and version 4 and see how that works. So let's say I say create an image with water painting, watercolor painting of a tiger, dash dash seed value of 123. And then I'm going to run the exact same command again in V5, and let's see what the difference is between the two, if any. So now our images are ready, and as you see, because I assigned the same seed value on both the images, they are exactly the same images. So because the random noise factor that was used in creating these images, essentially the seed number, was the same, version 5 produced the exact same image over and over again. So now let's try the same thing but with a different version to see how the algorithm reacts in that case. So I would go with watercolor painting of a tiger, but this time I'll do it with dash dash v4. So by dash dash v4, I am basically telling the algorithm that okay, use version 4 of Midjourney to generate this image. And then I'll do it again. Okay, actually I forgot to type imagine before it. Dash dash v4. And then let's do the exact same prompt again to see if there's a difference now. And then just to experiment with, let's do it with version 3 as well. In this way, we will also get to compare the different versions of Midjourney. So the outputs are ready, and let's see how the images are different or similar. So with V4, the images are very similar. It's actually the identically say the same image. With V5, the images change. So now you see that although I assigned the same seed parameter, the output images are slightly different now. Here you see the body of the tiger without the first face in U1, but in here in U1 it's just the face of the tiger. Similarly in U2 the image has completely changed. So in this way, as you see, different versions of Midjourney I work with the seed parameter differently, whereas in version 1.2.3, the seed parameter will cause the image to change and it won't be identically the same, but the overall composition and the medium and the aesthetics of the base image will remain the same. But in version 4 and 5, the entire image will completely be identical if you use the same seed number. The last feature we can cover in the parameters section is the tile feature. And basically, the tile parameter can produce images that are suitable for creating seamless patterns for fabrics, wallpapers, and textures. The resulting image is a tile that can be used repeatedly without noticeable seams or borders in a visually cohesive and continuous pattern. Let's try this out. So let's do wallpaper art of pink flowers and petals dash dash tile, and let's see what the algo creates for us. Now our output is ready, and as you can see, Midjourney has created 4 variations of the image of a wallpaper art of pink flower and petals in tile feature. So essentially what it means is that these can be used as wallpaper or screen desktops displays, in terms that it will show a complete pattern if we put them side by side, the same image side by side. So to show that in an actual perspective, I upscaled the first one, which was U1, and then I'm using this pychung.com checker tool, which essentially creates a tile feature based on the defined width of the tile. And now you see, if I increase it, this is one image. And now as I'm making it a tile feature, you see there are no breaks or anything that can tell me that this is not one pattern. So basically what the algorithm did in this case, what created a seamless pattern that can be put up in a tile feature. And this could be useful, and this is something we'll work on one of our projects where we'll create a wallpaper art that we can sell on Etsy. With that being said, this brings us to the end of the parameter section. In the next section, we will start covering how to use image URLs and text and image weights to further enhance and customize the images and use a base image by giving it a URL.
And once we've gotten an idea of how to create ideas of Instagram platform content and some posts that I showed you how to create those through your custom GPT or your Instagram content creator, and we've already seen how to create visual ideas for those posts. So now would be a good idea to step into Reels. Now, Reels is a medium that can really get you going on Instagram and can really get that engagement that you're waiting for, because Reels is the new thing on Instagram and it's just like TikTok. So what I can do is I can ask my custom GPT to go through Instagram and tell me 5 trends on Reels. You can see that it is visiting different websites. It's going to this website called later.com. Earlier it was saying that I'm going through all the reels, the trending reels from until November 2023, because that's the latest memory of GPT. And now you can see that it's giving me 5 very good trends that are right now very trending on Instagram. So one is wearing versus style trend, then the maturing trend, no one cares trend, taking from a summer place trend, and then the fifth one. So you see 5 ideas that are trending on Instagram right now, and now you can, depending on your business, if you're a freelancer or you're a marketer for a company, you can use these 5 ideas, discuss them with your team, and then implement them in your business. Now, a good way to do this would be, I have given it AI, my Seco AI business, as the business that I'm working on. So I could say that, can you tie these trends? Now mind you, every time the ideas that it has provided might not sit very well with your business. So you could always alter them. And I could say, can you apply these trends to my business Seco AI and provide me 5 ideas for Instagram. This is where it becomes extremely powerful. If you look at what I've gotten from my custom GPT, it says Instagram. It says, certainly, here are 5 Instagram reel ideas for your business. Wearing versus styling trends for course promotion. Earlier, if you check, it was wearing versus styling trend. So it has kind of adapted the idea to my business, and it says, show a split screen video with one side featuring a person struggling with traditional learning methods, unstyled, and that's the unstyled side, and the other side showing the same person with Seco AI's courses to efficiently learn and succeed. That is the styled version. Now, maturing trend for freelancing. Create a humorous video with the text, maturing is realizing that traditional jobs aren't the only way to earn, and then reveal a twist showing someone enjoying the flexibility and success of freelancing through Seco AI. The same is the case for 3, 4, and 5. So what I've done is I've made my custom GPT go through its memory of Instagram, and whatever it knows about all the recent trends. It has given me 5 ideas for reels, and I then asked it to apply those 5 ideas to my business. Now, you could be a different business, you could be in a different industry. You can look at those 5 trends, and then you can ask your GPT to apply those 5 trends to your specific business, and then you will see the magic happen.
In this section on advanced parameters, we're going to cover a couple of more things. First, we're going to look into how to add images into our prompt. Second, we learn how to work with image weights to help the algorithm determine how much significance the image holds versus the text prompt provided. The third thing we'll do is start working with text weights. And then we'll figure out what the remix and the blend features are. Now, to start working with images, the first thing we need to do is to create an image URL, because the only way we can feed an image into Midjourney's bot in Discord is by providing an image URL. So one way of doing that is, if I have an image saved on my Mac or PC, I can just open the image and upload it here. For instance, let's say I pick this image that I downloaded from Pixabay for free, and I'm just going to press enter and it will be uploaded. Once the image is uploaded, I can click on it and open it in browser. And that will generate a link to the image for me that I can copy. So here's my image link that I got from my browser, and if I press enter, it's going to open, or it should open, the same image. Okay, perfect. So now let's say imagine, and we just provide the link and see what the algorithm does. Okay, it doesn't. So that's what it says. With only a single image prompt, please another image prompt or a text prompt. So as we are working with V5 and V4, they will not accept just an image as an input parameter. You will have to assign something else next to it too, or another image. So let's say in Wonder Woman as Wonder Woman. And let's see what it does. While it loads, I can show you another way of getting the image. So here I'm at unsplash.com and it's a free image. When you're working with images, please make sure that there are no copyright issues and you're only using the images that are available to you. So licensing and copywriting is very important when working with AI tools. If you use an image that is not free and free to use and you create an AI image on top of it, then you might be run into licensing issues and copyright issues. So make sure any image that you use as a prompt is available and there are no licensing issues. Now for this specific image, I clicked on it and I can say open it in a new tab and then it will give me an image URL. And I can take this to my prompt, to my Discord and enter here and it will show me the image here. So in this way, I was able to load an image without actually downloading it. Just a small hack that I wanted to show you while our Wonder Woman image is loaded. Now let's use this one and try something too. So we do image in a superhero costume and let's see what happens this time. So now our images are ready and this was the first image that we used as an input prompt and said make it a Wonder Woman, and you see how powerful the algorithm is that it took the image and then added some flair and aesthetics to make it look like she's Wonder Woman. I can tell by the costume, the crown, the makeup, and the overall look of it that it indeed looks like a Wonder Woman image. The second one was this image, and we said in a superhero costume. So because I said in a superhero costume and not as a superhero, it took that as a girl's photo and made her wear a superhero sort of a costume. It's interesting how it made the dots appear on the face in different as points of the face, which were apparent here as the some sort of pimples on the face. The next thing I want to explore is the assigning weights to the image. And basically what I've done here is I ran the exact same prompt, but this time I added a parameter for weight, which is --iw, and I assigned a 0.5 weight to the image. And then I ran the same prompt, but this time assigned a 2 weight to the image, and then I assigned a 1 weight to the image. So now let's review how the algo interpreted it. So when I assigned a 0.5 weight to the image, that means it will give double importance to the text, which is the Wonder Woman. And that's pretty apparent here. In all these images, you see a very strong resemblance to Wonder Woman has been created in the costume, the crown, the makeup, and the hairstyle. It clearly looks like that this is Wonder Woman. Now when I assigned, let's look at the one first. So now here I assigned the image weight of 1. So that means it's going to give an equal importance to both of them. And that's apparent in these photos, especially in 1, 3, and 4, where you see slight features of the Wonder Woman, but at the same time, the original image of the girl's face is still there. And then finally, I went to image weight of 2, and here you see that the image is getting a lot more importance than the Wonder Woman text prompt we provided. And except in this U2 image, where we see a small crown on her head of Wonder Woman, all the images are more focused on the woman URL that we provided and not the text prompt. So in this way, we can use text prompts. In this way, we can use the weight parameter to basically further customize our images and get the desired results that we want. I really like this image, and this is something again that we will cover in one of our projects, where I've seen in Etsy, it's a very good running business where they allow people to provide a couple of images of themselves or their pets, and then they go and modify them based on their favorite superhero character. So knowing features like this, such as weight, can help you really customize images provided to you by your customers and then modifying them for different superheroes or different characters or even real life people if that's what they're looking for, and then provide them a customized AI generated output in this way.
We have a good grasp by now about what we can do with our custom GPT for Instagram or our Instagram content creator. I want to show you now how you can use this creator as your advisor as well, and it can design the whole strategy for you. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to say use your knowledge base and information from the internet to create an Instagram content strategy for my business. Now you can see that it's searching its knowledge and it's going through whatever I've provided. Now it comes up with an answer. It says to create an effective Instagram content strategy for your business, which seems to be focused on AI and freelancing. You can leverage a variety of content teams and approaches. Now it's starting giving me the ideas, and it gives me the idea of an educational carousel, share carousels post, educate your audience on various topics. For instance, you can create a carousel titled Empower Your Academic Journey. Then there's freelancing tips and strategies, technical tutorials, queries, AI for job seekers. I have like a bunch of ideas that I can start working with. I have 10 ideas. There's user generated content as well, live sessions, testimonials, all the different sorts of content that I can use on Instagram. It has given me the ideas. So what I'm going to do now is that let's create a weekly content schedule for my business. So if you take a close look now, I have my whole schedule for Monday, for Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, for the whole week. I have ideas for posts and I can just start. I can engage my marketing team. I can engage my managers or my clients. I can have my meetings and say that, guys, this is the schedule that I've come up with. And I can further, just like I did for LinkedIn, I can create this schedule in the form of a table. So my table is ready for my content. Now I can also add the fact that I haven't optimized my hashtag. So either you could go to your instructions and you can add that point, or you could just say over here that you need to optimize the hashtags or add hashtags to all these posts. Add hashtags. Add a variety of hashtags for all these posts. I can see that I have all my hashtags ready for all the days, and I can get these added to the table as well. So now you have a good idea of how you can create a whole content calendar for your Instagram. You can engage your teams, communicate with your stakeholders, with your clients, and then get things started. And essentially, now you have a custom GPT or an Instagram content creator that is there to help you with all the various tasks that involve the Instagram platform. If you have this custom GPT, then you can really increase your productivity on Instagram and the content that you're producing.
The next thing we'll cover is using text weights. So using a double colon. So keep in mind we're using two colon here. So I'm calling it a double colon. In a prompt tells the Midjourney bot to treat each part of the prompt as a separate concept. So for example, the prompt butterfly would be interpreted as two separate concepts, resulting in an image of a butter and a fly and not of the butterfly itself. So this feature allows for experimentation with prompts and the generation of images that combine multiple distinct concepts, leading to new exciting possibilities for image creation. The next thing that you can do here is you can assign a weight to the specific text that you want. For instance, if I write 2 here, then it means that the butter would give twice more important to the butter relative to the fly. A very simple basic concept, but it can be very powerful when we're working with words that can have double meanings, for instance, butterfly. And then if you want the algorithm to focus more on a specific word or a phrase rather than the other one. So now I tried a couple of different combinations to show you. The first one I did was jellyfish. So I did jelly double colon fish. And you see in these two images it actually created a jellyfish, but in these two it created jelly which has a fish sort of a structure to it. So somewhere in the middle, but not exactly what we were looking for. Then I did just jellyfish and I was like, okay, this is the normal image of a jellyfish that it has. So here it's trying to replicate that, but more of a jelly sense, that the fish is made of jelly. Then I switched to version v4. I went to settings and I switched to v4 to see how that works. And first I did jellyfish. So similar jellyfish structure as before. And now it's doing a better job in terms of when it's creating a fish which looks like a jelly in this image. Something similar here, but these two are again jellyfish. And then I did jelly and I removed the space before fish, and then it actually did a much better job in U1 where it actually created a fish what I was looking for and some jelly around it. So in this way, similarly here you see a glass of jelly with a fish passing through it. Here you can see a bit of a structure of a fish inside a jelly as well. So in this way, I was able to see that version 4 does a slightly better job than version 5 in terms of the assignment of text weights, and the output is more or less the same and it's not a huge difference. Actually, version 5 output here looks a lot more realistic versus the version 4 output. So that was a quick discussion on text weights and how they can be used to optimize your output. One more thing I can show you is I can use the weights to show how it impacts the output. So let's say I assigned a weight of 2 to jelly versus the fish, and then it will tell me exactly what I'm looking for, hopefully, which is that the jelly will be more prominent than the fish in the output prompt. So now here you see that here I assigned jelly a weight of 2, and although the overall composition is still of the jellyfish object, but you see a lot more jelly in terms of in the background and the size and the shape of the fish. And then I assigned jelly half a weight, which essentially means I'm giving double the weight to the fish, and this does the job in trying to show me what I was looking for. Now you can see a proper fish in each and every one of the photos it created. So in this way, I was able to play around with the algo, with the text weights in different versions, and get a more closer image to what I was looking for versus what the prompt initially provided me.
Once you have completed all the steps as usual, you will go to the save section. You will just select only people with a link so that you can share this link with your team members, with your clients, or whoever you want to give access to for this custom GPT. So just press confirm, and now your GPT is saved.
The next thing I want to touch base on is the remix mode. So if you go and type /settings, press enter and go into settings, you'll see this option of remix mode. And essentially what it allows you to do is to change your input prompt for an image that you have already created. So let's say I have these images ready. I will upscale one of them. So now I've scaled this image, and here there are 4 options. One of them is make variations, and when I click on it, a pop-up opens up with my input prompt. So now if I want, I can change the input prompt using the remix feature, and this is what we call the remix feature, and basically change anything that I want in this input prompt and the image will be regenerated. So let's say I make it fisherman just for the sake of changing the image, and it will create a completely new output based on that. So you see how changing the input prompt, the overall composition and the theme of the image remained the same, and it added a fisherman on top of it just because I changed used the remix prompt. Now, just to give you an idea of how this works, essentially what remix prompt does is it recreates the image using a different text prompt by assigning it the same seed number. I can achieve the same result that I achieved here by using the same seed number of the original image. In that way, it focuses on using the new text prompt provided, but keeps the basic flair and artistic sense of the underlying image the same. The last thing I want to cover in this section is the blend feature. So far, everything that we have done is by using the imagine command. For the first time, we won't use imagine. We're going to use blend, which is another feature available. Now, this is the same thing as providing multiple URLs to the algorithm. So essentially, it allows you to provide multiple images as the input prompt to the Midjourney algorithm without any text. So what I'm going to do is choose the same photo that we worked with before of the woman, and then this time I'm going to add a photo on top of something different. Let's say, where are my desktop photos? Okay, yeah. So I added an actual photo of Gal Gadot Wonder Woman, and let's see how this works. And the command has been sent. I don't need this. While it runs, let me try and achieve the same result from the imagine command. So essentially what I'll do is I'll provide a URL link of the Gal Gadot photo plus the URL link of the woman's photo that we have been working with, and see if Midjourney can accept these two as a combination. So it did, and let's see what the outputs turned out to be. Now our two images are ready, and they are essentially very close to each other, because what I did with blend here was that I provided two images. It created the URL for both the images and then ran them together. And then I did the exact same thing using the imagine command, where I provided the URL of the two images and ran them. And as you can see, the output is very similar. In both of them, you see touches of Wonder Woman while showing the face of the woman that we were referring to. The only reason Blend turns out to be useful is that it's very handy to use on phone, and you can use up to 4 images, or I think 5. 4 and actually 5. So it allows me to attach 5 different images and blend them together, and that's why they basically launched this extra feature, so that on the go on your phone you can add multiple images at the same time and use the power of the blend feature. With that being said, this brings us to the end of our advanced parameters section. We covered a couple of useful things in this section, from adding images to assigning weights to images to assigning weights to text to working with remix and blend feature.